Good day, YouTube. My name is Colin, and today we're going to dive into that highly debatable question of whether your personal home is actually an asset or a liability. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Now, first off, let's talk about what we mean by asset and liability, okay? Anybody who's taken any kind of accounting 101, you probably remember being taught that assets are things that are worth money you put on a balance sheet, okay? So by that, anything like a house, a car, a building, anything is an asset, okay? Because you could sell that and get money. Now, for the purpose of this video, we're talking about how Robert Kiyosaki defines assets, and that is how he teaches us to look at assets differently from a personal finance standpoint. And that is anything that makes you money or brings you in money is an asset. Everything else is a liability. All right, there's a big difference there, okay? For example, if I decide, okay, I currently have a $5,000 car. If I decide to sell that and buy a $10,000 car, I'm going to incur more depreciation every year, all right? I'm going to probably spend more on insurance every year. My expenses are going to go up. So yes, on my balance, my personal finance balance sheet, I have something worth more money, but it's actually not making me any more money. It's costing me more money every year. So under the classic accounting principles, yes, I've got a bigger asset, but as far as how we're taught to look at it from Robert Kiyosaki, I have a bigger liability, okay? Now, it's important to look at assets and liabilities more in the Robert Kiyosaki way, because when we start to look at assets and liabilities that way, we start to learn how we're going to turn our money into money, which is the key to personal finance, right? You don't want to be using all your money and wasting all your money. You want to be using your money to make money. You don't want to work for your money. You want your money to work for you, right? Now, so we talked about a car already. Okay, now let's talk about, if you haven't read the book, and Kiyosaki wrote a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad where he talks extensively about this concept. And I'm going to put a link in the description to that book, because if you haven't read it, I invite you to read that, because it definitely will open your mind and change your thought process about assets and liabilities. Now, that being said, I know a lot of people have read this book and still think that their house might be an asset. I've even heard other popular personal finance YouTubers who I know have read this book still say that they think their house is an asset. And I really it kind of sparked me to make a video about this, because I've thought a lot about it, and I really still think that a house is not an asset. A house is a liability, okay? And here's why. Kiyosaki, first of all, talks about how an asset should make you money, okay? Your house does not make you any money. Now, it can make you money if you, say, buy some investment property or some rental property. If you're going to buy a house and rent it out, of course, that's a way to make money on it. Just like a car, if you're going to buy it and rent it out, or buy it and drive for Uber, okay, then it can be an asset. But if you're buying a house to live in, it's a liability, okay? Because just like with the example with the car, okay, I sold a $5,000 car and bought a $10,000 car. I'm going to incur more expenses. If I have, for easy math, let's just say I have a $200,000 house and I decide to sell that and buy a $400,000 house. All right, I'm going to pay double my taxes on the property. I'm probably going to pay a lot more on insurance because I am insuring a more expensive house. I'm probably going to have more lights that are going to be on. It's probably going to be more square footage, so it's going to cost me more to heat or to cool or whatever, so my utilities are going to go up. Everything about that house is going to cost more money, right? So yeah, the value of a house and the amount of equity you have is part of your net worth. However, it's not a good place to be investing your money, and it should not be looked at as a way to build money or to build wealth, okay? Because the more you spend on this, the more you end up costing yourself. Now, I didn't even talk about another big reason why a bigger house is more of a liability, and that is because most people finance their houses. Or majority of people finance their houses, okay? Even when I bought my house, as you know, if you've watched my videos, I paid off my house shortly after buying it. My wife and I did, but we had to finance it. So The bigger house, of course, is going to cost you more in interest because you've got to pay, even if you're, no matter what your interest rate is, the bigger the loan, the more the financing is going to be. So another reason why a bigger house is costing you more money. All right. Now, I mentioned earlier that I think a lot of people have read this book and still think that their house is an asset. And I'm trying to ponder why I think maybe where the confusion lies. A lot of people think that owning a house is one of the smartest things you can do from a personal finance standpoint. And yeah, maybe owning a house is cheaper than renting, okay? But once you own a house, you're actually better off owning a cheaper house than a more expensive house. And the bigger the house you buy, the more of a financial burden it is on your overall net wealth because you're owning an asset that may or may not increase in value and you're spending more every year on expenses, on maintenance, on taxes, on insurance, on all these things, okay? So the more the house you buy, the more you spend, contrary to if you buy something like a stock or you buy rental property where although it may or may not go up in value, you're bringing in money every month, or you buy a stock where the more you buy, the more you're going to get in dividends, and those types of things. So I hate to break it to you, a house costs you money. So there you go, just kind of a short little fun video. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are in the comments because I know this is a highly debated topic, even of people that have read Kiyosaki's book. A lot of people disagree with him. I'd love to understand an argument why. I'd love to hear more feedback on this issue. So if you've read the book or you own a house and you really think it is an asset, please let me know a comment. This could get really fun having this discussion, and maybe if I hear something that changes my mind, I would love to hear something like that. Other than that, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to give me a like. Also, feel free to hit the subscribe button. I try to get a lot of videos out in the realm of personal finance and stock market investing. Other than that, that's today's video. Thanks for watching Financial Success.